What if I told you that your brain's best days could still be ahead of you? That the inevitable cognitive decline we've all been warned about is actually optional, not mandatory? The latest neuroscience has completely rewritten the rulebook on brain aging, and the news is better than anyone expected. Today, I'm revealing the science-backed secrets that could help you maintain razor-sharp thinking, excellent memory, and mental clarity well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. The most surprising discovery? The single most powerful brain-preserving activity isn't some expensive supplement or cutting-edge medical treatment. It's something remarkably accessible that most people completely overlook. Stay with me, because in the next 20 minutes, you'll learn exactly what leading neuroscientists have discovered about keeping your mind vibrant at any age. This information could completely transform your cognitive future. Fear of losing mental sharpness consistently ranks as the #1 health concern among adults over 50, surpassing even cancer or heart disease. This fear makes perfect sense given what we've traditionally been told about the aging brain. For decades, the story was simple and depressing. Your brain peaks in your 20s, maintains a plateau through middle age, and then begins an inevitable decline. Medical textbooks described the aging brain as characterized by shrinking volume, deteriorating neural networks, and diminishing capacity. We were told to accept cognitive decline as normal, natural, and unavoidable. But here's the revolutionary truth: those old beliefs were fundamentally wrong. The brain's remarkable adaptability. The scientific breakthrough that changed everything came with the discovery of neuroplasticity, the brain's lifelong ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Contrary to previous beliefs that we're born with all the brain cells we'll ever have, researchers found the brain continues generating new neurons throughout life, even in people in their 90s. This discovery shattered the notion that cognitive decline is inevitable. We now understand that the brain remains adaptable and resilient throughout life, capable of remarkable regeneration given the right conditions. Even more important is the concept of cognitive reserve, your brain's ability to withstand damage and maintain function despite age-related changes. Think of cognitive reserve as your brain's backup system. When certain neural networks become compromised, a brain with strong cognitive reserve activates alternative networks to accomplish the same tasks. The most encouraging news? Cognitive reserve isn't fixed at birth or determined solely by genetics. It's something you actively build throughout life through specific activities. Studies have documented significant cognitive improvements in people who began new mental activities in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s. It's truly never too late to start. So what exactly builds this cognitive reserve? Let's explore the evidence-based strategies that research shows can preserve and enhance your brain function, regardless of your current age. The learning connection. Why education protects your brain. The first key factor in building cognitive reserve is ongoing learning, but not just any mental activity. Passive activities like watching television provide minimal benefit. Even doing the same crossword puzzles repeatedly, once you've mastered the patterns, offers diminishing returns. What truly strengthens your brain are activities that combine several critical elements: novelty, progressive challenge, diverse skill sets, and sustained attention. Learning a new language, for instance, checks all these boxes. It requires mastering new information systems, challenges you progressively as you advance, engages multiple cognitive skills, and demands sustained concentration. This explains why continuing education shows such remarkable brain-preserving effects in long-term studies. Older adults who took just one college course per year showed significantly less cognitive decline over a decade compared to those who didn't, regardless of the subject studied. The process of mastering new, challenging information creates precisely the type of neural stimulation that builds cognitive resilience. Musical training offers similar benefits. Learning to play an instrument later in life engages multiple brain regions simultaneously. Motor control, auditory processing, memory, and emotional centers all activate together in a symphony of neural activity. Brain scans of older adults who began music lessons after retirement show remarkable structural improvements in as little as 6 months. Digital learning can be particularly beneficial because it combines cognitive challenge with acquiring practical skills relevant to modern life. Research shows that older adults who master new technologies experience measurable cognitive benefits while also expanding their ability to engage with an increasingly digital world. What's particularly encouraging about these findings is their implication that the very activities that enrich our lives, learning, creation, exploration, also happen to be the same activities that preserve our cognitive abilities. There's no harsh trade-off between enjoyment and brain health. They're synergistically connected. The movement. Miracle. Exercise's profound impact on brain health. While mental stimulation is crucial, the research reveals an equally important factor for brain preservation: physical activity. The brain-body connection is so powerful that regular exercise is now considered one of the most effective known interventions for cognitive health. Multiple studies have demonstrated that aerobic exercise actually increases brain volume, particularly in the hippocampus, the memory center of the brain. One landmark study found that previously sedentary adults who began a moderate walking program showed an increase in hippocampal volume of about 2% over 1 year, effectively reversing age-related decline by 1 to 2 years. The control group, who did only stretching exercises, exhibited typical age-related shrinkage in the same brain region. Physical activity benefits the brain through multiple mechanisms. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, delivering vital oxygen and nutrients. It stimulates the release of growth factors like BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which promotes the growth of new neurons and strengthens existing ones. Exercise also reduces inflammation and improves insulin sensitivity, both of which protect brain cells from damage. The good news is that you don't need extreme workouts to reap these benefits. Research consistently shows that moderate activity, 30 minutes of brisk walking 5 days a week, provides substantial cognitive protection. The key is consistency rather than intensity. In fact, studies suggest that the cognitive benefits of regular, moderate exercise exceed those of occasional high-intensity workouts. Dr. Wendy Suzuki, professor of neuroscience at New York University, puts it simply: exercise is the most transformative thing you can do for your brain today. Her research demonstrates that a single workout immediately improves focus and attention that can last for several hours, while regular exercise over months literally reshapes your brain for long-term improvement. The connection factor: why relationships preserve cognitive function. The third pillar of brain preservation is social engagement. Our brains evolved in highly social environments, and meaningful human connection remains vital for cognitive health. Longitudinal studies following thousands of older adults consistently show that those with strong social networks experience slower cognitive decline and reduced risk of dementia compared to socially isolated individuals. Social interaction builds cognitive reserve through multiple pathways. Conversation itself is cognitively demanding, requiring real-time processing of verbal and non-verbal cues, perspective-taking, memory recall, and complex language generation. Additionally, social relationships help regulate stress hormones that, when chronically elevated, can damage brain cells, particularly in the hippocampus. Quality matters more than quantity when it comes to social connections. Research from the Harvard Study of Adult Development, the world's longest-running study on happiness and well-being, found that the quality of close relationships was a stronger predictor of cognitive health than the total number of social contacts. This suggests that a few deep, meaningful connections may provide more cognitive benefit than numerous casual acquaintances. The effect is so powerful that some researchers now consider chronic loneliness as damaging to brain health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Conversely, maintaining strong social connections throughout life appears to build cognitive resilience that helps protect against dementia and age-related decline. For those who live alone or far from family, structured social activities like volunteer work, community classes, or interest-based groups can provide the same cognitive benefits. The key element is meaningful engagement with others rather than mere presence in a crowd. The nourishment factor: feeding your brain for optimal performance. The fourth critical factor is nutrition, where research has identified specific dietary patterns that protect brain function. The Mediterranean DASH intervention for neurodegenerative delay, MIND diet, has shown remarkable brain-preserving effects. Participants with high adherence to the MIND diet in one major study had brains that functioned as if they were 7.5 years younger than their chronological age. This brain-supportive eating pattern emphasizes leafy greens, colorful vegetables, berries, nuts, olive oil, whole grains, fish, beans, and poultry, while limiting red meat, butter, cheese, pastries, sweets, and fried foods. What makes these dietary components so protective? They're rich in antioxidants that neutralize free radicals, anti-inflammatory compounds that reduce brain inflammation, and nutrients that support the health of blood vessels supplying the brain. Specific foods have shown particularly strong brain protective effects. Blueberries, for instance, contain anthocyanins that improve signaling in brain centers associated with memory. Fatty fish provide omega-3 fatty acids that form the structural component of brain cells. Turmeric contains curcumin, which may cross the blood-brain barrier, and has both antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Equally important is what to avoid. Ultra-processed foods, refined sugars, and trans fats have been linked to accelerated cognitive decline and increased inflammation throughout the body, including the brain. Research from the Mayo Clinic suggests that high-sugar diets may increase beta-amyloid deposits, the protein fragments that form the plaques characteristic of Alzheimer's disease. The timing of eating may matter as well. Emerging research on intermittent fasting suggests that periods of caloric restriction may trigger cellular repair mechanisms that benefit the brain. One study found that intermittent fasting increased production of BDNF, the same growth factor stimulated by exercise, potentially supporting the growth of new brain cells. The restoration secret: how sleep rebuilds your brain. The fifth dimension of cognitive preservation is quality sleep. During deep sleep, the brain's glymphatic system, discovered only in 2012, activates to clear away metabolic waste products, including beta-amyloid, the protein associated with Alzheimer's disease. This cleaning process occurs primarily during slow-wave sleep, which tends to decrease with age. Dr. Matthew Walker, director of the Center for Human Sleep Science at UC Berkeley, describes sleep as the Swiss Army knife of health. In his research, even a single night of poor sleep can increase beta-amyloid in the brain by up to 30%. Conversely, improving sleep quality can enhance memory, consolidation, attention, and executive function. Addressing sleep issues can have dramatic cognitive benefits. Studies of older adults with previously undiagnosed sleep apnea who received treatment showed cognitive improvements equivalent to adding back 10 years of cognitive youth. Even without specific sleep disorders, improving sleep hygiene can significantly boost brain function. Practical strategies for better sleep include maintaining consistent sleep-wake times, creating a cool and dark sleeping environment, limiting screen exposure before bedtime, avoiding caffeine and alcohol in the evening, and establishing relaxing pre-sleep routines. For those with persistent sleep issues, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, has proven more effective than medication for long-term sleep improvement without side effects. The Calm Advantage: stress management and brain preservation. The sixth factor is stress management. Chronic, unmanaged stress triggers the sustained release of cortisol, which can damage the hippocampus and impair memory formation. Mindfulness meditation has emerged as a particularly effective intervention, with studies showing increased grey matter density in brain regions responsible for learning, memory, and emotional regulation among practitioners. Research at Harvard Medical School found that just 8 weeks of mindfulness training led to measurable increases in hippocampal volume and reduced activity in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system. Participants reported decreased stress and anxiety alongside improved concentration and decision-making. Other effective stress management approaches include Tai Chi, yoga, time in nature, creative activities, and structured relaxation techniques. The common element across these practices is their ability to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that counterbalances the stress response. Developing a personalized stress management routine doesn't require hours of daily practice. Research suggests that even brief periods of mindfulness practice, 10 to 15 minutes daily, can yield significant benefits for brain health when practiced consistently. The synergy effect. Why combining approaches yields dramatic results. While each of these factors individually contributes to cognitive health, the most powerful brain protection comes from their combination. The landmark Finnish geriatric intervention study to prevent cognitive impairment and disability, FINGER, was the first large-scale randomized controlled trial to show that a comprehensive lifestyle intervention could improve or maintain cognitive functioning in at-risk older adults. Participants who simultaneously engaged in cognitive training, physical exercise, social activities, nutritional guidance, and vascular risk monitoring showed significant improvements in overall cognition, processing speed, and executive function compared to the control group receiving only regular health advice. 2 years later, the intervention group continued showing benefits, demonstrating that these lifestyle changes created lasting cognitive improvement. What makes this research particularly groundbreaking is that it moved beyond correlation to establish causation. Rather than simply observing that certain lifestyles are associated with better cognitive health, this study proved that actively adopting these practices causes measurable cognitive improvement. The synergy between different brain-healthy practices appears to create effects greater than the sum of their parts. For instance, exercise increases BDNF levels, making the brain more receptive to stimulation from learning activities. Social engagement often incorporates physical activity and cognitive challenge. Proper nutrition supports the cellular mechanisms that underlie neuroplasticity. Good sleep consolidates the neural connections formed during learning. This integrated approach has led to the development of what researchers call multimodal interventions, comprehensive programs that target multiple aspects of brain health simultaneously. Early results from these programs show promise not just for preventing decline, but potentially reversing early cognitive changes in some individuals. Tailoring strategies to your unique brain. While these 6 factors, learning, exercise, social connection, nutrition, sleep, and stress management, form the foundation of cognitive health, the optimal approach varies between individuals. Emerging research suggests that genetic factors, previous lifestyle habits, existing health conditions, and even personality traits influence which interventions provide the greatest benefit for specific people. Some individuals, for instance, may experience more significant cognitive benefits from aerobic exercise, while others might respond more strongly to cognitive training. This personalization principle has led to the development of more targeted brain health programs that assess individual risk factors and tailor interventions accordingly. Biomarkers such as inflammation levels, insulin sensitivity, and vascular health can help identify which aspects of brain health deserve particular attention for each person. Someone with elevated inflammation might benefit most from anti-inflammatory dietary changes and stress reduction, while someone with early vascular issues might prioritize exercise and blood pressure management. This personalized approach represents the cutting edge of cognitive health research, moving beyond one-size-fits-all recommendations to precision brain health strategies designed for individual needs and circumstances. The personalization principle, tailoring strategies to your unique brain. While these 6 factors, learning, exercise, social connection, nutrition, sleep, and stress management, form the foundation of cognitive health, the optimal approach varies between individuals. Emerging research suggests that genetic factors, previous lifestyle habits, existing health conditions, and even personality traits influence which interventions provide the greatest benefit for specific people. Some individuals, for instance, may experience more significant cognitive benefits from aerobic exercise, while others might respond more strongly to cognitive training. This personalization principle has led to the development of more targeted brain health programs that assess individual risk factors and tailor interventions accordingly. Biomarkers such as inflammation levels, insulin sensitivity, and vascular health can help identify which aspects of brain health deserve particular attention for each person. Someone with elevated inflammation might benefit most from anti-inflammatory dietary changes and stress reduction, while someone with early vascular issues might prioritize exercise and blood pressure management. This personalized approach represents the cutting edge of cognitive health research, moving beyond one-size-fits-all recommendations to precision brain health strategies designed for individual needs and circumstances. The implications of this research revolution are profound. What was once considered inevitable, cognitive decline with aging, now appears largely preventable and in some cases even reversible through specific lifestyle interventions. The brain's remarkable adaptability throughout life means that cognitive health remains within your influence regardless of your current age or situation. Yet despite this encouraging research, misconceptions about brain aging persist. Many people continue to believe that cognitive decline is inevitable or that it's too late to make meaningful changes. These limiting beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies when they lead people to disengage from the very activities that would preserve their mental sharpness. The stakes couldn't be higher. As our population ages, maintaining cognitive health becomes increasingly crucial for both individual quality of life and societal well-being. The difference between a future with sharp thinking and independence versus one with cognitive impairment and dependence often comes down to the lifestyle choices made decades earlier. The most empowering aspect of this cognitive revolution is that it puts you in the driver's seat of your brain health. While genetics and age play roles in cognitive function, they're far from the whole story. The choices you make daily, from the foods you eat to the activities you pursue, from how you manage stress to how you engage with others, shape your brain's trajectory more powerfully than was previously imagined possible. Dr. Richard Restak, neurologist and author of over 20 books on the brain, captures this paradigm shift perfectly. The idea that cognitive decline is an inevitable part of aging is not just wrong, it's dangerous. It leads people to accept symptoms they should address and to neglect the very activities that would maintain their brain health. Consider the inspiring case of Estelle, who at 79 was experiencing noticeable memory problems and cognitive slowing. Rather than accepting these changes as normal aging, she worked with a cognitive health specialist to implement the strategies we've discussed. 6 months later, her cognitive testing showed improvement rather than decline. "I feel sharper now than I did a decade ago," she reported. "I just needed to give my brain the right environment to thrive." These aren't isolated anecdotes. They represent thousands of individuals who are rewriting their cognitive futures through evidence-based lifestyle changes. The science is clear. Cognitive decline is not inevitable, and proactive brain health strategies can yield remarkable results at any age. The keys to cognitive vitality are surprisingly straightforward. Challenge your mind with new learning, move your body regularly, connect meaningfully with others, nourish your brain with the right foods, prioritize restorative sleep, and develop effective stress management practices. When combined, these elements create the optimal environment for your brain to thrive across the lifespan. Start where you are with what you have. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Even modest changes, a daily walk, learning a new skill, improving sleep habits, adding brain-nourishing foods, can yield significant benefits when practiced consistently. If you found this information valuable, please take a moment to like this video and share it with others who might benefit. Subscribe to our channel for more evidence-based content on living your healthiest, most vibrant life at every age.